Shabbat Shalom, family. Our scripture reading for today is Songs of Slow-Mo, chapter 8, verses 4 through 5. I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, that you stir not up, nor awake my love, until he please. Who is this that cometh up from the wilderness, leaning upon her beloved?
Shabbat Shalom, family. Our selection today, Come Out the Wilderness.
Tell me, how did you feel when you
come out the wilderness?
How did you feel when you
Come out the wilderness.
How did you feel when you
Come out the wilderness. A leaning on Yah.
Tell me, how did you feel when you
Come out the wilderness.
How did you feel when you
Come out the wilderness.
How did you feel when you
Come out the wilderness. A leaning on Yah.
Yeah. Well, I looked at my hands and my
Hands look good.
looked at my feet and
David too.
well, I started to walk
I had a brand new walk.
and I started to talk and
I had a brand new talk.
well, I started to sing.
I had a brand new song. And everybody wondered just what was wrong.
My soul was new when I
Come out the wilderness.
when I
Come out the wilderness.
everybody when
Come out the wilderness. A leaning on Yah.
well, I looked at my hands and my
Hands look good.
then I looked at my feet and
David too.
well, I started to walk
I had a brand new
and
walk.
I started to talk and
I had a brand new talk.
I started to sing.
I had a brand new song. And everybody wondered just what was wrong.
My soul was new when I
Come out the
my
wilderness.
heart was new when I
Come out the
oh yes, I
wilderness.
loved everybody when
Come out the wilderness. A leaning on Yah.
oracles of the UCI. 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be therefore sober and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you are sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as their children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becomes saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth. Therefore, let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him and will sup with him and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Which is peace on Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Praise Yahweh for the choir and this morning's beautiful song. And you have to examine part of those lyrics. You know, I loved everybody when I came out of the wilderness. See, there's a period of darkness and separation that causes your perspective to change. Part of our issues is that we want to maintain the status quo. We would like to maintain the same path that we're on, and we don't really pay attention to the things that are happening that Yahweh is allowing to happen, so that your perspective about things will change. When a situation changes, and we are living in some exciting times, if you will. A lot of times, you know, we can go back and we can read some of the history books, and we hear about what our people went through, and we ask that question, man, how could they, you know, make it through something like this? And I don't think we are considering that in the next generation, our grandchildren will be hearing about the things that are happening now and wonder, how did we make it? They're going to wonder, how did you have any confidence to even go out in the street with all of these things happening? So we kind of have to consider the moment and the space that Yahweh has put you in the time that he has raised us up, and the job that we need to do for that particular generation. See, the things that we are able to do now, our forefathers didn't have an opportunity to do. If we go back just the generation of our parents, they didn't have the opportunity to do the things that we are doing. So they had their particular purpose as it fit the time that they were in. Now we have to fit the purposes that are designed for the generation that we are living in and the things that are taking place at this particular time. For that to happen, we have to allow ourselves to be renewed in the spirit of our own mind. So as Yahweh brings things to us, we have to then allow our mind to be reshaped and be able to deal with that mentally differently than how we would have dealt with it just a year before. That's what growth does. And if we don't deal with that, then we are stunting our own growth. Let's begin today's sermon in 1 Samuel chapter 8. 1 Samuel chapter 8. And we're going to start that at verse 1. And today's sermon is entitled, Renewed in the Spirit of Your Mind.
1 Samuel chapter 8 and verse 1. And it came to pass, when Samuel was old, that he made his sons judges over Israel. Now the name of his firstborn was Yoel, and the name of his second, Abiah. They were judges in Beersheba. And his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after lucre, and took bribes and perverted judgment.
Right, and this is not something that Samuel was about. Samuel was about his business. But then you find, the next generation, his offspring, they're on some different things. See, just because you teach your children what's right, doesn't mean that they're going to follow. But I can guarantee you, if you don't teach them nothing, I can guarantee you what they're going to follow. You gave them absolutely nothing to work with. So when you don't do anything, you don't discipline them, you don't formulate any kind of stability whatsoever, you leaving it up to the street and chance. You have to at least give them something that they at least have a platform to fall off of. If you didn't do nothing, then you leaving the streets to raise them. You leaving their friends to raise them. Go ahead.
Brother, you was discussing certain things in your opening statement. We've got to look at our generation. We're that generation that have seen so much. We're the last generation to understand gas being under $1 when the pumps couldn't go up to $1. Mm-hmm. We're that generation. We're that generation who could say, we remember when every classroom didn't have computers. Computer class was a class. Everybody wasn't in school with a computer. We're that generation. Mm-hmm. We are that generation who is now seeing cars coming in that can drive themselves. So understand the mindset of the constant change that our generation is seeing. Mm-hmm. Our children's generation are used to computers. So the next generation coming after them, cars driving by themselves will be something normal for them. We're still fascinated and amazed seeing a self-driving car. So our generation has seen so much that we can see the end times. So, renewed in the spirit of your mind, we constantly have to change our mindset. Because we constantly have to accept these new things coming in.
Yeah, I think the word I would use is not amazed. I was absolutely creeped out by that car driving by itself. All right, absolutely creeped. All right, seeing that steering wheel move by itself, absolutely creepy. Absolutely. Watching the car as it approached to an intersection, and you got multiple cars coming on the other side. They would have to have a potty in that car if I was the first one in that vehicle as it made that turn on a multiple lane street. Because, we already, we passenger seat drivers already. We get a person hell who drive. Slow down. You going to turn right now? You don't see that over there? Come on now, I know you. Oh man, we about to die. Who the hell I'm gonna talk to when the car driving by itself? Trying to figure out who I'm gonna argue with. Slow down, Hyundai. You don't know no better than this. And I got to call. I got to argue with the car. Sonata, don't do that. I don't like that. I don't like that. Go ahead, bro.
Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah, and said unto him, Behold, you are old, and your sons walk not in your ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, Give us a king to judge us.
Right, because what has happened is they went from one thing to a whole nother operation. And you have to sit and meditate upon that to really get where Yahweh and Samuel's point is. Because if you just look at it on the surface, it gives you one look. But you have to look a little bit deeper. Go ahead.
And Samuel prayed unto Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people in all that they say unto you. Mm-hmm. For they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them.
Right. So what Yahweh is noticing is that his wife Israel has a problem with him ruling over. So she wants to pick something else. You got to understand, if you're dealing directly from a prophet who's dealing directly with Yahweh, then your direction is coming from a holy standpoint. If you get a king, that then puts another layer and separates the direct situation between you and the priesthood. So the children of Israel is once again are asking for a mediator. Remember, when Yahweh tried to deal straight with Israel before, don't let Yahweh talk to us no more. Which is funny because it's us that you hear most of the time. I talked to God last night. Seriously? We still doing this? From the beginning, we was the one that when he started talking, we got the hell on. We took off running. Now, every time you turn on the TV, another one of us talked to God last night. And God said, really? From day one, we've been trying to get him to stop talking to us. Now, all of a sudden, he's talking to us. And he's talking to everybody. I mean, he talked to anybody at any time about anything. They ain't got to have no job. They ain't got to make no covenant. They ain't done jack. Ain't done no work. Yet he keeps talking to them. Yet when he got ready to talk to us, it was so frightening. It was so life-changing. We didn't want nothing else to do with it. Talk to him, and then let him talk to us. Here Israel go again. Don't give us another prophet. Give us something else. We're always trying to negotiate the contract again. See? He go us down for it. We act like we the star wide receiver on every team. It's time for me to renegotiate the contract. Man, you just signed a contract last year. Yeah, but I realized I'm good. I looked at these stats and I said, oh my lamb. I realized that, I sell a lot of tickets. So, so Yahweh, won't you have Yahshua meet me over here on this cloud and let's renegotiate, let's renegotiate my contract. I got some demands. Oh, you do? Oh, this is going to be cute. This is going to be cute. Go ahead.
Verse 8. According to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other gods, so do they also unto you.
So do they also unto you. It's not you that they have a problem with. I know that it's you who are having to deal with what's being said, but it's not you that they have an issue with. They really have a problem with me reigning over them. And their actions are showing that they have a problem with me being in control. So they want me to take my control, put it in the hands of a man, and let that man control, which is the exact same thing that they asked for in the first place. Yahweh bring them up to the mount, let them get a glimpse of his power. We didn't want nothing to do with it. So we're doing the same thing. But we don't really see that at this moment. Go ahead.
Now therefore hearken unto their voice.
Now listen at how Yahweh deals with things. Go ahead and give them what they want. I know what they're asking for is unrighteous. They don't understand that what they're asking for is unrighteous. They don't understand that they're going outside of the circle that I put them in. And we don't consider when our desires lead us outside of the circle or outside of the house, you then are responsible for enlarging the house. Because your desires and whatever that was couldn't be contained inside the house. So now the house has to grow. But then we'll turn around and argue about the growth of the house. You caused the growth of the house. You asked for something else. Then you got to deal with everything that comes with that something else. Go ahead.
Howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them.
Now therefore hearken unto their voice. Howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them. Now, your first question should be, why is that the kind of king that has to rule over them? He's going to give you a king according to your mindset. See, this is the only kind of king you can get at this point. Because this is your mindset. Now, Yahweh said it's me that they have a problem with. Yahweh sees right through the fake walls that we present to mortal man. He let Samuel know that it wasn't him that Israel had an issue with. It was Yahweh that Israel had an issue with. So to express their disdain for Yahweh, they would basically have an issue with anybody he chose. So what he liked, they hated. What he hated, they loved. Righteousness keeps Yahweh from doing certain things. The things that he couldn't have, Israel wanted. Keep going, bro.
And Samuel told all the words of Yahweh unto the people that asked of him a king. And he said, this will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you.
This is what you deserve. This is the kind of king that you deserve based on the state of your heart and mind at this very moment. Are you sure you're ready for a king? Go ahead.
But even when they're asking, they didn't make any specifications in what they asked for.
No.
They just said, give us a king like the other nations.
There you go. But see, that's us. Where we can't be renewed in the spirit of our mind because we want what everybody else had. Make it look like what they have next door. See, next door neighbor get a new car, we're going to get a new car too. Next door neighbor put up a fence, we're going to put up a fence beside the neighbor fence. So now we got a fence. They got a fence, we got a fence. We ain't going to use their fence because it's separating between our yard. We're going to use our own fence. So it's going to be two fences right beside each other. That's Israel. See, you have to know the limitations of your people, or you don't really understand how to deal with your people. And you don't know how to deal with you either. Go ahead.
He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots, and to be his horsemen. And some shall run before his chariots. And he will appoint him captains over thousands and captains over 50s, and will set them to air his ground, and to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war, and instruments of his chariots.
Right. See, these are things that we have to consider. Life is changing drastically in this generation. And we are still going on business as usual, like everything is normal. We have not heard of these many. Let me tell you something. It had to be a time during my mother's mother before we had heard of this many nations having altercations at the same time. This is not normal. These are the things we find in Matthew that Yahshua is talking about, wars and rumors of wars. I mean, it's going down. Day by day, there's a new development. And we're still acting like we're dealing with normal times. I mean, we're talking about at this time, pre-war logistics are happening. As we speak, things are being shifted. Tanks and destroyers are being set in strategic places. And Russia, in the meantime, is boasting, "Hey, we got a weapon we call Satan. It can hit anybody on any place on the earth. So ain't no need us to move nothing. We ain't got to mobilize. Y'all can ship. Y'all go wherever y'all want to go. We got everything we need right here." This is different than any other thing. When things start happening like this during our grandparents' time, they start building bomb shelters, fallout shelters. They have a whole communities that people are setting up for in case a collapse in the economy and things like that. Because this little conflict has already started a food shortage and a financial crisis all over the earth. Imagine if this conflict grows. So we're talking about a situation between two countries has caused worldwide implications. Imagine if the rest of the world gets in the fight. There's certain things that we are accustomed to enjoying because, they just ship it in. America stopped making a whole lot of things a long time ago. So there's some things that we just take for granted that it's always going to be here. Then you look up and we don't have any of that stuff. We don't have access to any of that stuff. That's going to be life-changing. Go ahead.
And he will take your daughters to be confectionaries, and to be cooks, and to be bakers. And he will take your fields, and your vineyards, and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants. And he will take the tenth of your seed, and of your vineyards, and give to his officers and to his servants.
Okay, now stop. At this moment, Israel has put a different bill upon themselves. All right, we owe Yahweh a tenth, right? Okay, he says the king gonna take a tenth. 20% of your stuff just got gone. This was because of your desire. The tenth was going to Yahweh. You don't think that Yahweh finna take his tenth and give it to the king, do you? Is that what you thought? No. You just do another 10. Imagine just going to work one Friday and a whole nother tax is on your check. And you're like, what the hell is this? Oh, it's king tax. Who the hell is the king? I done already planned out my bills, man. I look on here, it's king tax. Y'all asked for a king. I told y'all when you asked for the king that he was going to take 10% of your stuff. What? When you had said that, we wasn't listening. Right, of course you wasn't. See, we don't listen until we get hit in the pocketbook. Then all of a sudden, our hearing becomes keen like Lassie on the prairie. What you say? Whoa. I said, whoa. What you say? They need saving. Whoa. Oh, we hear perfectly when the check looked funny. I told you he was going to take a tenth. If I'm already getting the tenth, and then he's getting the tenth, that's 20% now. You just added another 10% to be removed from your budget. Go ahead.
And he will take your men servants and your maid servants and your goodliest young man.
Now, wait a minute. Now, he already got 10%. Now, you got to add all these things on top of the 10%. These are all things that's going to leave you financially. Go ahead.
And your asses, and put them to his work. He will take the tenth of your sheep, and you shall be his servants. And you shall cry out in that day because of your king which you shall have chosen you, and Yahweh will not hear you in that day.
Right. I'm not going to hear you because this is something you asked for. And some things we ask for without opening our mouth. Our actions show that we're asking for that thing. You ever seen them kids when you eating, they won't ask for nothing, they just sit there and stare at your mouth? They ain't ask for nothing, but they asking for something. See, Yahweh know how to read in between the lines too. Your actions are showing that you're asking for something. But see, we think we slick. We think we can go to Yahweh and say, well, I didn't ask for that. No, you didn't ask for it out your mouth. Your actions showed that you was asking for it. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel. And they said, no, but we'll have a king over us.
Ain't nobody listening to you. You just a servant of Yahweh. Ain't nobody listening to you. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. Don't just try to reason with us. Ain't nobody trying to hear no reason. They just give us a king. We want to look like everybody else. Go ahead.
That we also may be like all the nations.
That we may be like all the nations. See, that's that thing that we want. We want to be just like all the other nations. Yahweh said, I've made you to be a peculiar people. Why you want to be like them? We go to school and they wearing something, we want to wear what they wearing.
You know, I thought this was nice until I went to school, Mama. And you know, the kids, all the kids there, they have these pants that don't really fit. You know what I'm saying? I was buying my pants to fit, and then I went to school and I found out nobody's pants come all the way up the tailbone. It stops in the middle, and then it don't go all the way to the ankles. So they all buy their little brother size.
So now we want to look like them. Go ahead, bro.
And that our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles. And Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them in the ears of Yahweh.
Now listen to this. That the king may go out and fight our battles. See, we want us a representation for us, but we don't want it to be Yahweh. We want the king to go out and fight our battle. Because, see, we have to walk in righteousness if Yahweh is our representation. See, we have to deal in a certain way. But if we have a king, we can just send, the king thing. Look, hey, king thing, go over there and, man, these people over here tripping. King thing, go over there and take care of that business. See, that's what we want. We want a king thing. Just have king thing go over there and just whoop up, because that's what we want. And we want the meanest, roughest, we want something. That's what Yahweh gave him. He gave him a big, tall, warrior-looking dude, because that's what was in their heart. The next king he chose didn't look nothing like the king that they had. See, that's what they wanted. They wanted something to appear to be a certain way. That when he showed up at the negotiating table, everybody was scared.
Man, did you see the way he looked? Did you see him? Good God. Looked like he killed at least 10 people on the way over here.
Go ahead, bro.
And Yahweh said to Samuel, hearken unto their voice, and make them a king. And Samuel said unto the men of Israel, go you every man unto his city.
Right. This is what you asked for. This is what I'm going to give you. Now, Yahweh also gave Israel an opportunity to repent. This is why he says protest solemnly. This is why sometimes things go on and you say a little bit and you step back so that everybody has an opportunity to make a decision. Because once the judgment comes, now everybody want to run away from it. No. You're not going to escape the judgment. You were solemnly protested to reconsider your course of action. You continue to go in that course of action. You will not get away from this judgment. Now, when you examine the situation, it almost seems as if the people were justified in wanting a king because Samuel's sons were not like him. But Abiyah is an all-knowing Elohim. He not only knows what we do, but also why we do it. The issue with Samuel's sons gave Israel the perfect cover to go after what they wanted. They always wanted to go away from Yahweh's order and be like the other nations. Israel used the issue of Samuel's sons as a cloak to cover their sins. See, when you look at it, you say, okay, well, they were not righteous. And the book says, okay, they went after filthy lucre. Okay, so then your next desire then is to get somebody else in the same position. We wanted to change the entire order of the house. That was unrighteous. And you have to sit down and meditate on that. Otherwise, you take every negative situation and then that then is made to completely change the order. No, the order isn't changed. You just get a new whatever that is. When you know your tire go out, you know, man, I had a blowout.
What you gonna do? You know, man, I'm gonna put a skateboard on this thing, man. And you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna even get there another tire.
See, now you just psychotic. You know, instead of getting another tire.
No, you know what, man? I'm just gonna put them skates on there, man. And then we just gonna, you know, because I don't want to get no more tires, man. This is my opportunity to change.
It's your opportunity to get yourself killed. That's what this is. That's what this is. Because see, now you want to completely change how the vehicle operates. Instead of just replacing the thing that didn't work right. Let's go to Numbers chapter 14. But you know, I didn't get that the first time I read that. I didn't get that they were completely unjustified in asking for a king. They actually asked for something that they never had. They didn't ask for new judges, which would have been a righteous request. They asked for something that was outside of their realm. You have to be careful in what you ask for. Is it outside of the realm of what you're supposed to be dealing with? You are bringing forth judgment into your house. All I had to do was ask for new judges. That's not what they asked for. They asked for something greater than a judge. They asked for something who would have power over even a prophet. Numbers chapter 14. And let's start that at verse 1. And you see that the manner of Israel has stayed the same. Go ahead.
And all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried. And the people wept that night. And all the children of Israel murmured against Moshe and against Aaron. And the whole congregation said unto them, What Elohim that we had died in the land of Egypt? Or what Elohim we had died in this wilderness?
And this is it. This is Israel. All right. So when you see us, as soon as something go wrong in our life, oh, woe is me. Oh, I wish I had never been born. Oh, why did the sun shine on my face? This us. Now we in whining mode. See? This is when you see a grown man grab his binky in his bottle and get ready to rock himself to sleep. Go ahead.
And wherefore has Yahweh brought us onto this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be a prey? Were it not better for us to return into Egypt?
Israel, here we go again. Here we go. So you see the foundation of where we get these things from. So it's no matter that today you find Israel still doing the same thing. Let's look for a captain to give us an easier route to salvation. We do the same thing. That's why they scour the internet, looking for teachers upon teachers upon teachers. Let's find us an easier route. We ain't changed. We the same people. Only difference now is we do it on the internet. Go ahead.
And they said one to another, Let us make a captain, and let us return into Egypt.
Here we go. Let us make us a captain. Yeah. So this was the beginning of asking for a king right here. Go ahead.
Then Moshe and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation.
You see how people who walk in righteousness can hear foulness immediately? But the people feel justified in their request. They feel justified in their lust for a captain. But the people who are walking according to the word are making an attempt to, they hear it immediately. Uh-oh. We about to be in some trouble. They still standing boldly with their request. These two understand, oh my God, I know he listening. We in trouble. They don't even understand what's on the way. Go ahead.
And Moshe and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel. And Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Yephani, which were of them that searched the land, rent their clothes.
You see how the ones who understand operate? See, this is why my elder used to say, what do you do? See, the ones who understand operate one way. The ones who don't understand operate a different way. They stand boldly with their requests. The ones who understand are already in turmoil inside immediately upon hearing it. That's why it says, gather me together the ones that sigh and cry for the abominations that be done here. See, Yahweh is gathering people. Some people are being gathered together. There's a reason why certain individuals end up galvanizing together and floating off to their little corner. They have the same twisted mindset. And Yahweh need to grab them all together so that they can get thrown in the fire together. They don't understand that's why they're being gathered together. They think they're gathering for good. No. He's gathering them for a reason. You find out they stand boldly with their requests. But everybody who understands operates in this manner. And you watch how the story unfolds at the end. The very ones who made their proclamation at the beginning, those are the ones that Yahweh is going to use. See, people don't understand that situations happen so that you are also being tested. But we think the test is for our neighbor. No, you're being tested. Go ahead.
And they spake unto all the company of the children of Israel, saying, the land which we passed through to search it is an exceeding good land.
Now, these are two people who went with them. Now they have to try to reconvince people because other individuals came back with a bad report. And their bad report was out of their fear and their non-belief that Yahweh could do it. And that's what it's all about. Their unbelief. Go ahead.
If Yahweh delight in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it us, a land which flows with milk and honey. Only rebel you not against Yahweh, neither fear you the people of the land.
Right. What we don't see is they were rebelling against Yahweh. We don't really see that when we go after whatever it is we want, or when we, enjoying the lust of our eyes or whatever. You're rebelling against Yahweh. They don't see that. Go ahead.
For they are bread for us. Their defense is departed from them.
Now, how is it that he could see that they are bread for us? If Yahweh delight in us, I'm telling you, nothing shall stand before us. But the majority of the people are all in fear. How is it that the individuals who are at this stance see, and the majority of the people don't? See, we put ourselves in the situation where Yahweh won't let you understand this, or he'll let you understand it wrong. Now, what do we have to do to put ourselves in that? Once you come out of something, hindsight is always 20/20. You always know what you should have done when you didn't do it. Every person after accidents,
I should have turned left right there.
Go ahead.
And Yahweh is with us, fear them not. But all the congregation bade stone them with stones.
This is how strongly Israel is when we believe something, right or wrong. Here come the stones. The stones are coming at the individuals who are trying to uplift them. You have to learn the manner of your people. As you are trying to get them to walk on higher ground, get ready to dodge some rocks. You notice they're not throwing rocks at the other people. They're not getting stones to say, something against the people who agree with them. They're throwing stones at the ones that are trying to get them to have faith in Yahweh. Those are the people that they throw the stones at. Go ahead.
And the glory of Yahweh appeared in the tabernacle of the congregation before all the children of Israel.
Now, see, this is what happened. You sit in the midst of a situation. Sometimes, as parents, you're sitting and you enjoying yourself in one back part of the house, and then your daddy ears turn on. Them kids. You sit there for a second,
Let me see if it's gonna stop by itself. Nope, it didn't stop.
now it's time for me to, all y'all come in here. Right, this is what Yahweh doing. He gives you a small representation of what he had to go through by giving you a family. And you minding your own business, and they in the next room breaking everything that you done purchased. You go in there and half your living room tore up. And at this point, it's time to assess the damage and who gonna pay for it. And since I'm the only one with a job, I got to find another way to make you pay. Right. Same thing Yahweh do. I own everything. The earth and the fullness therein belongs to me. So I got to figure out another way to make you pay. Go ahead.
And Yahweh said unto Moshe, how long will this people provoke me?
Uh-huh.
And how long will it be ere they believe me?
How long will it be before they believe me? How long do I have to take care of these people? How long do I have to walk on the straight and narrow before they believe me? What more do I have to do? Have I lied to you? Have I misdirected you? Tell me, what have I done? What more do I have to do before you believe me? Go ahead.
For all the signs which I have showed among them, I will smite them with the pestilence and disinherit them.
Disinherit them. See, all that stuff that you were supposed to get, I just took it back. Go ahead.
I will make of you a greater nation and mightier than they. And Moshe said unto Yahweh, then the Egyptians shall hear it, for you brought us up this people in your might from among them. And they will tell it to the inhabitants of this land, for they have heard that you Yahweh are among this people, that you Yahweh are seen face to face, and that your cloud stands over them, and that you goest before them, by daytime in a pillar of cloud, and in a pillar of fire by night. Now if you shall kill all this people as one man, then the nations which have heard the fame of you will speak, saying, because Yahweh was not able to bring this people into the land which he swore unto them, therefore he has slain them in the wilderness.
Now check this out. Yahweh even has to deal with the perception of people. Because at this point, Yahweh ready to go ahead and get rid of Israel and make 12 tribes of Moses. But because of how things are going to be perceived, this is winning over Yahweh. Go ahead.
You understand what he put on what would have been the 12 tribes of Moses? He said they would be a greater nation and mightier. So the shortcomings that these people here got,
right,
they ain't gonna have.
Right. Because they gonna start from you. So I'm gonna take that spirit and I'm gonna divide it up. and we'll build a nation from you. How many of us would have just said,
well, okay. I like the way that sounds right there. You know what I'm saying? 12 tribes of sock. Wait a minute. I like the way that sounds. Say that again, Yahweh.
how many of us would have agreed? Now understand, he's fighting for the same individuals who blame him every time something goes wrong in their life. And Yahweh just offered him an opportunity to never have to deal with the likes of them again. How many of us would have taken the deal? Go ahead, bro.
And now I beseech you, let the power of my Adonai be great, according as you have spoken, saying, Yahweh is long-suffering and of great mercy, forgiving lawlessness and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the lawlessness of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation.
Once again, those questions that we get about the sons dying for the fathers and blah, 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 that's a whole thing. That's death. Do not think that you are not going to carry over the sin from one generation to the next. Listen to what he's saying. Visiting the lawlessness of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation. We may be carrying around some sins and dealing with some situations that our great granddaddy did. You can't figure out
Why every time I try to do this, man, something happens.
then you gonna say that one day, and an old lady named Bertha gonna be sitting there. Well, come here, baby. Let me tell you something. You want to know why you keep having problems with that? Yes, ma'am. Anybody ever told you about your great granddaddy Johnny Lee? What? Johnny Lee? Ain't nobody ever told you about Johnny Lee? Boy, Johnny Lee was an old dirty bastard. Yes, it was. Say, old lady don't give it to you raw. And now you're going to understand some things. See? Right. Right. You still carrying around the sins of Johnny Lee in your pocket. Go ahead, bro.
Numbers chapter 14 and verse 19. Pardon, I beseech you, the lawlessness of this people, according unto the greatness of your mercy, and as you have forgiven this people from Egypt even until now. And Yahweh said, I pardon according to your word. But as truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the glory of Yahweh. Because all those men which have seen my glory and my miracles, which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have tempted me now these 10 times.
You see how the Spirit worketh patience? Yahweh, they have betrayed Yahweh on multiple occasions. He didn't just go off the first time they got on his nerve. He said, now these 10 times. They done got up to 10. I'm done with this generation here. Go ahead.
And have not hearkened to my voice. Surely they shall not see the land which I swear unto their fathers, neither shall any of them that provoke me see it.
So now he has drawn a line in between the house of Israel. There's a dividing line that has now went through the midst of the nation. Go ahead.
But my servant Caleb, because he had another spirit with him.
He had another spirit with him. He didn't just agree with the masses. You know how easy it is to agree with everybody else?
Everybody's saying we should, get a captain. Everybody's saying that, let's just be like everybody else. Let's vote for the captain and get him to go ahead and take us back into Egypt. Pharaoh gonna realize, and he gonna negotiate with us, and he gonna give us, a better place to be slaves. Go ahead.
And has followed me fully. Him will I bring into the land whereinto he went, and his seed shall possess
Followed me
it.
fully. You see the difference? Followed me fully. See, we have follow Yahweh and think we're supposed to get a prize.
Well, I followed most of what you said, Yahweh. Surely you have a most follow prize. Don't you have one of those? I'm sure you got something in that bag. What you got in that bag?
Ain't nothing but judgment and damnation in this bag. You want what's in this bag? Never mind. Go ahead.
And his seed shall possess it. Now the Amalekites and the Canaanites dwelt in the valley. Tomorrow turn you and get you into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe and unto Aaron, saying, How long shall I bear with this evil congregation?
How long will I bear this evil congregation? Check this out. This is how what Yahweh is made to do. As much as he loves Israel, you have to still call a spade a spade. And when Yahweh does it, we have a problem. The same thing that happened when we do it. When we look out and say, hey, we ain't dealing with things right.
Oh man, look at them. They're narcissists. They want to do that.
They don't want to deal with Yahweh's law. So instead of saying that they have a problem with Yahweh, they got to say that they have a problem with you. The same thing Yahweh had to tell Samuel, look, don't worry about this. This is not about you. This ain't about your sons. This is about me. They don't want me to rule over them. This ain't got nothing to do with you. You just a man taking the heat. Go ahead.
Which murmur against me. I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, which they murmur against me.
Against me. I have heard. Go ahead.
Say unto them, As truly as I live, says Yahweh, as you have spoken in mine ears, so will I do to you.
This is where your mouth end up getting you in trouble. So the very things that they let fly out of their mouth are the very things that he's going to use to judge them with. Go ahead.
Your carcasses shall fall in this wilderness, and all that were numbered of you, according to your whole number, from 20 years old and upward, which have murmured against me. Doubtless you shall not come into the land, concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein, save Caleb the son of Yephani, and Joshua the son of Nun.
Now, listen, verse 29. Your carcasses shall fall in this wilderness, and all that were numbered of you, according to your whole number, from 20 years old and upward, which have murmured against me. Do you understand the power of being a 19-year-old murmurer at this point? I'm just gonna put it out there. Come on now, come on, Cletus. Come on, Cletus. You got to understand the power of being a 19-year-old murmurer at this point. Damn it, you going in. You know what I'm talking about? Now you sitting right beside your 20-year-old murmuring friend, but you're not going in. Do you understand the power and the difference that a year make? 19-year-old murmurer going in. 20-year-old murmurer is the end. You understand? It's in and the end. It's totally different. They might sound alike. Go ahead, bro.
But your little ones, which you said should be a prey, them will I bring in.
Right. These are the ones that you claimed that it was about. And these are the ones that I'm going to actually let partake in salvation. Because you use them as an excuse. See? You use them as a cloak to hide your dealings, saying that it was about the children. It wasn't about the children. It was about you. Go ahead.
And they shall know the land which you have despised. But as for you, your carcasses, they shall fall in this wilderness. And your children shall wander in the wilderness 40 years, and bear your whoredoms until your carcass be wasted in the wilderness.
Right. So the kids just walking around waiting for everybody in that generation to die. Every cough you have, they think this is it. And then when you come back to, they go, we just waiting on this knuckle to die right here. We can leave as soon as this knuckle die. So everybody gathered around your tent, not because they love you. Every day they just wondering, is today the day that you go away from here? What's that got to be like to know that everybody come to your tent? You last one left, bro. We just, how you feeling? That question ain't real, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's real, but it ain't real. They really want to know how you feeling. And every time you say, well, I feel good. Dang. All right, well, we'll come back and check tomorrow. Go ahead.
After the number of the days in which you search the land, even 40 days, each day for a year.
Right. So there's even structure to Yahweh's punishment. I'm going to punish you in like manner. So that when we end up receiving some things, then we receive the judgment from it. Then we try to lash out. Guess what? You're only bringing forth more judgment to yourself. And he's going to give you the judgment according to your lashing out. Their judgment is directly connected to the things that they've done. So then if you lash out against judgment, he's going to then give you judgment according to the judgment that you lashed out against. Go ahead.
So you bear your lawlessness, even 40 years, and you shall know my breach of promise. I, Yahweh, have said, I will surely do it unto all this evil congregation that are gathered together against me. In this wilderness they shall be consumed, and there they shall die. And the men which Moshe sent to search the land, who returned and made all the congregation to murmur against him.
See, you see what happened? The people who searched the land, they came back and brought an evil report. What they did then was brought a heresy among the congregation. How different is that? The people say, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to visit this congregation over here. I'm going to go visit this congregation. Then they grab that heresy, bring it back to this congregation, and now look at all the trouble that ends up taking place. I tell people, go wherever you want to go, but make sure you keep that doctrine on the other side of that door. Because you bring it up in here, I'm going to step up in it with both feet. Go ahead.
By bringing up a slander upon the land.
Right, and this is exactly what Israel did. They went somewhere else, brought back what they wanted to bring back. And here's the interesting part. You got a group of people, but everybody didn't come back with the same report. Did they see according to their level of their heart? Why did these two see differently? So that means when they brought back the heresy, they thought that what they brought was real. Because it was real to them. But it was only real because their heart could only see past a certain level. Go ahead.
Even those men that did bring up the evil report upon the land died by the plague before Yahweh. But Yahshua, the son of Nun, and Caleb, the son of Yephani, which were of the men that went to search the land, live still.
And check that out. So then you have that they end up having to be the ones left over after all of the carnage. Let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 24. Second Samuel 24, and let's start that at verse 1. So the children of Israel ask for a king. Yahweh gives them a king according to the level of their heart at that particular time. So they get a wicked king. And he was a real flip-flopper. But then again, he was like them. He gave them a king after their heart. When he got Dawid, he gave them a king after his heart. So then you have to ask yourself, what kind of thing do you want? Do you want something that is after your heart or something that is after his heart? Because see, your heart going to change. His isn't. See, when you get something that's after his heart, it maintains stability. See, what pleases us on Tuesday, you find out ain't so pleasing Wednesday afternoon. Yahweh not like that. So you rather find something that is after his heart, not yours. You still trying to find yours. Hell, you got lost on I-20 looking for your heart. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, as you say, and that's the whole thing to when they asked for a king, they just said, give us a king like the other nations. You always looking around and say, okay, this is what these kings
This is what
do.
they got.
This is what you did. This was going to happen. This was going to happen. This was, because you want a king like the other nations.
Right.
They never said, hey, give us a righteous king to
Give
lead
us a righteous king, right. Well, righteous people don't pray for unrighteous people don't pray for righteous things. They pray for the desires of their heart and their flesh. So they prayed for what was in their heart. We want something that looked like what everybody else got. I mean, we don't really know like what it's like in the inside. So we just want to look at the outside. What? We ain't been the same way? Man, damn, James got a nice looking woman. You know, I want me a woman like that. James' woman is foul as hell. I mean, she look good on the outside, but the inside is absolutely rotten to the core. It's worms all in there. But did you ask Yahweh?
I want a woman like what James got. Yahweh like, boy, you don't know what James got. I'm trying to tell you what James got, boy. You bite into it and all your teeth rot. I'm trying to tell you, boy.
But you're not looking at that. You're looking at what you can see. Go ahead, brother.
And again, the anger of Yahweh was kindled against Israel. And he moved David against them to say, go, number Israel and Yehudah.
Now understand, again, the anger of Yahweh was kindled against Israel. It is Israel that Yahweh is angry with. And then being angry with Israel, what is he angry with Israel about? Yahweh doesn't say. But he's angry. So there's some mindset issues. See, Yahweh has constantly had a problem trying to get his wife on the same page that he's on. And he's angry. He doesn't even explain what he's angry about. But he uses the king. You know that thing they asked for? To then bring judgment on them. Now, how many of us would then blame the king?
Look at it. Because David wanted to do this. Now, look at all this stuff happening to us.
Right. You see how Yahweh show you just enough for you to go get yourself killed. Because imagine if you had ran up to David telling him, you're the reason for all that. You do know he'll kill her though, right? You don't let the pretty dude playing the harp fool you. That's stone cold killer. You run up, you gonna limp back. Go ahead.
Where the king said to Joab, the captain of the host, which was with him, go now through all the tribes of Israel, from Dan even to Beersheba, and number you the people, that I may know the number of the people.
So he has an unrighteous drive that has been placed in his heart, and he can't do anything but follow it. This drive has been given unto him. He can't shake it. I don't care if he pray about it. He can fast about it. He can do whatever. He can put on sackcloth and ashes. It ain't leaving. When Yahweh put you on the path, you're gonna take that path. What you got to find out is, why did he put me on this path? Go ahead.
And Joab said unto the king, now Yahweh your Elohim add unto the people, how many soever they be, 100-fold, and that the eyes of my master the king may see it. But why does my master the king delight in this thing?
Right. Even nasty Joab know that this is a bad idea. And he nasty. And he know,
Look, I'm dirty, low down, despicable. I know this ain't a good idea.
go ahead.
Notwithstanding, the king's word prevailed against Joab.
In other words, he could not be reached. There wasn't no talking him off of this because he had been set on a course. Yahweh is angry with Israel and have placed the king that they asked for on a course. Go ahead.
And against the captains of the host. So you look at this, it ain't just Joab. The captains of the host was pleading too.
This is where people are standing up saying, look, I read this in the word of Yahweh. And I know you got a copy of this law. Come on, man, don't do this thing. He ain't listening to nobody. Why? He's been put on a course. Why has he been put on the course, though? This is the part that Yahweh himself will never discuss. He didn't put that in here. He just said he was angry with Israel. Now, David is on a course. He's not angry with David. He's angry with Israel. Go ahead.
And Joab and the captains of the host went out from the presence of the king to number the people of Israel.
Right, they followed their instructions. These are the instructions that they were given. They didn't like the instructions. They tried to talk to him, out of the instructions. When that didn't prevail, they followed the instruction. Go ahead.
And they passed over Jordan and pitched in Aroer, on the right side of the city that lieth in the midst of the river of Gad, and toward Jazer. Then they came to Gilead, and to the land of Tatim Hadshai. And they came to Dan Yan, and about to Zidon, and came to the stronghold of Tyre, and to all the cities of the Hivites and of the Canaanites. And they went out to the south of Yehudah, even to Beersheba. So when they had gone through all the land, they came to Jerusalem at the end of 9 months and 20 days.
9 months and 20 days. He has been set on a course that Yahweh has put him on. He is focused. He has all kind of people following this course. It is a real logistical situation to go through all of these lands. 9 months, 20 days. Go ahead.
And Joab gave up the sum of the number of the people unto the king, and there were in Israel 800,000 valiant men that drew the sword, and the men of Yehudah were 500,000 men.
Right. Now the course is finished. Next verse.
And David's heart smote him after that he had numbered the people.
Now, whatever that was that Yahweh put on him that blinded him throughout the course that he put him on because he was angry with Israel, now he just took that. Because as soon as he's done, now his heart smote him. Yahweh just took the veil right off his face. 9 months, 20 days was it on. 9 months, 20 days. The veil was on. He was unable to see a course that he was directing. And as soon as it's finished, Yahweh is now taking the blinders off. Now he sees what he has done. Now he is heartbroken. His heart was always his heart. Your heart is always your heart. But what blinds you from having full access to it? Go ahead.
And David said unto Yahweh, I have sinned greatly in that I have done. And now I beseech you, O Yahweh, take away the lawlessness of your servant, for I have done very foolishly.
And as a man's man, he's putting it all on him. It ain't all on him, no. Go ahead.
But when David was up in the morning, the word of Yahweh came unto the prophet Gad, David's seer, saying, Go and say unto David, Thus says Yahweh, I offer you 3 things. Choose you one of them, that I may do it unto you.
Now, some people may say, well, wait a minute, it's foul. He does wrongdoing, then he chooses the judgment. Who asked for a king? I'm sorry, this is the new order that you asked for. Remember that thing that you was desiring looking next door? See, that's us.
I want me a woman just like what James got.
Then she come in the house and you figure out, oh, damn, she's a hellion. Yo, every time I come over here, she got a bonfire in my living room. You said that's what you wanted. Kept staring at him. I think, hey, this is what you want. You got there it is. You want it, there it is. You got it. Here goes some wood. Go ahead.
So Gad came to David and told him and said unto him, Shall 7 years of famine come unto you in your land? Or will you flee 3 months before your enemies while they pursue you? Or that there be 3 days pestilence in your land? Now advise and see what answer I shall return to him that sent me. And David said unto Gad, I am in a great straits. Let us fall now into the hand of Yahweh, for his mercies are great, and let me not fall into the hand of man. So Yahweh sent the pestilence upon Israel from the morning even to the time appointed.
Now stop. Does Israel now blame King David for the loss of their family? Some of these people are losing children, they're losing wives, they're losing husbands, they're losing fathers, they're losing mothers. Do they now have a serious a situation against him. See, Yahweh show you just enough to get you killed. Where do they focus all of this negative energy now? Go ahead.
And there died of the people from Dan even to Beersheba 70,000 men.
Mm-hmm.
And when the angel stretched out his hand upon Jerusalem to destroy it, Yahweh repented him of the evil and said to the angel that destroyed the people, "It is enough. Stay now your hand." And the angel of Yahweh was by the threshing place of Arnah the Jebusite. And David spake unto Yahweh when he saw the angel that smote the people, and said, Lo, I have sinned, and I have done wickedly. But these sheep, what have they done?
You see that? He's asking these sheep, what have they done? Why are you punishing them? The whole thing was about them. This is why the book says, lean not unto your own understanding. You witnessed a situation, but do you even know what you witnessed? I find it amazing. A lot of times when we end up counseling people, we have been dealing with some people for years. Here it is, some seat dweller think they know what they're looking at. The people who were in this didn't even understand what the hell was going on. David was a part of it. He didn't even understand. Yahweh's whole anger was against the people. He said, I'm the one that did wrong. No, I made you do wrong so I can deal with them. Yet you have people sitting around observing parts of situation and don't even know what they're observing, but ready to throw they 2 rusty cents in. You don't even understand the situation that you're in. How you gonna understand the situation over here? Go ahead.
Let your hand, I pray you, be against me and against my father's house.
Let's go to Proverbs chapter 2. And even in that, he's still seeking for this to be done in a different manner. But it was Israel's judgment. But he never mentioned why he was angry with Israel. So you find that sometimes when you say what you're actually angry about, they just change it that day. This is why he wouldn't let Pharaoh repent. No. You only want the punishment to stop. Your heart still ain't changed. You're still the same type of individual. So if I tell you exactly what it is, you're just changing for the day so that the whooping will stop. But you'll be back at it next week. I watched it long enough to know that. Proverbs chapter 2, and let's start at verse 1.
My son, if you will receive my words and hide my commandments with you, so that you incline your ear unto wisdom and apply your heart to understanding. Yes, if you crieth after knowledge and lift up your voice for understanding, if you seeketh her as silver and searcheth for her as for hid treasures, then shall you understand the fear of Yahweh and find the knowledge of Elohim. For Yahweh gives wisdom, out of his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. He lays up sound wisdom for the righteous. He is a buckler to them that walk uprightly. He keeps the paths of judgment and preserves the way of his saints. Then shall you understand righteousness and judgment and equity, yes, every good path. When wisdom enters into your heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto your soul.
When wisdom enters into your heart and knowledge is pleasant unto your soul, then this happens. Go ahead.
Discretion shall preserve you.
Discretion shall preserve you. Go ahead.
Understanding shall keep you.
So then there's an equation then that's here. When wisdom enters into the heart and knowledge is pleasant unto your soul, discretion shall preserve you. That means discretion is going to tell you, hey, you know what? I wouldn't do this right now. I probably shouldn't do this today. It didn't say I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do this right here. That's discretion. I should probably alter how I do this on this day. I go back to my regular way tomorrow. Discretion. But it's an equation. Wisdom enters. Knowledge is pleasant. Discretion shall preserve. E equals MC squared, baby. Right there. Go ahead.
To deliver you from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaks froward things.
Right. So you find that the same slick talkers may have moved from seat to seat, talking in everybody's ear in the congregation. But only certain people fail. That means that they were missing a part in the equation. See, we think knowledge, no, starts with wisdom. Wisdom enters into your heart. Knowledge is pleasant unto your soul. Discretion then preserved you. So as the wicked slick talker with forked tongue went from place to place in the congregation, they could only get certain individuals. The ones who didn't have all the parts of the equation. So you have to have all the parts of the equation or you can't solve the question. See, if you're missing one variable, you got to go back to the teacher. This question ain't even complete. You know, if it says 10 plus what equals such and such, but you only gave me the 10. I need one more variable to figure out. I can't figure out two variables. You can't tell me 10 plus what equals what. No, you got to tell me 10 plus what equal 20. Then I got two variables. I can now work out the equation and figure out the missing variable. But if you don't give me but one variable and it's two variables missing, I don't have enough variables to solve this equation. That's why some people fail and other people just got stronger. The people that failed didn't have all the necessary parts of the equation. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 13. Who leave the paths of uprightness to walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice to do evil and delight in the frowardness of the wicked.
They delight in the forwardness of the wicked. Birds of a feather hang out together. Go ahead.
Whose ways are crooked, and they froward in their paths. To deliver you from the strange woman, even from the stranger which flatters with her words, which forsakes the God of her youth, and forgets the covenant of her Elohim.
Forgets the covenant of her Elohim. Go ahead.
For her house inclines on to death, and her paths on to the dead.
Right. For forgetting the covenant of Elohim, of course your heart has inclined unto death and your paths unto the dead. Once you walked away from the covenant, you have already directed your path. Your path is definitely directed at that point. You can turn GPS off. You're going straight to hell. Every turn you gonna leave, turn left. All right, go south, way south. Keep on going. I said keep on going. You want me to turn right here? Hell no, keep on going. Where you lead me? To hell. You can turn GPS off. You don't need Google Earth, because where I'm going ain't no Earth. Don't worry about it. No. Your path has been directed. You have chosen this path. Go ahead.
None that go on to her return again, neither take they hold of the paths of life, that you may walk in the way of good men and keep the paths of the righteous.
Right, but it's work keeping the path of the righteous. It's work walking in a good path. There's a point where you want to knock out. It's work to maintain the good path. You don't do everything you want to do on the good path. Go ahead.
For the upright shall dwell in the land, and the perfect shall remain in it. But the wicked shall be cut off from the earth, and the transgressors shall be rooted out of it.
All right, let's go to Leviticus chapter 24. Leviticus 24, and we're going to read verses 10 through 16.
Verse 10. And the son of an Israelitish woman, whose father was an Egyptian, went out among the children of Israel. And this son of the Israelitish woman and a man of Israel strove together in the camp.
All right, so then they are in a altercation. All right, the son of the Israelitish woman and a man of Israel, they're having an altercation. And a lot of times when we're in an altercation, everything becomes fair. As they say, all's fair in love and war. Go ahead.
And the Israelitish woman's son blasphemed the name of Yahweh.
Now, he has an altercation with a man of Israel. But who he then blasphemed is the God of Israel. Go ahead.
And cursed. And they brought him unto Moshe. And his mother's name was Shelemith, the daughter of Dibri of the tribe of Dan. And they put him in ward, that the mind of Yahweh might be showed them. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, Bring forth him that has cursed without the camp, and let all that heard him lay their hands upon his head.
Okay, now, here comes responsibility that Israel does not want to deal with. Okay? Bring forth him that has cursed without the camp, and let all that heard him lay their hands upon his head. Go ahead.
And let all the congregation stone him.
Right. Now see, what we want to do, we hear some things that ain't right, but then we won't say nothing. Because we don't want to be,
we like to be neutral. I just want to be, peace and tranquility. I'll serve Yahweh, but I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to be a part of, no unsavoriness. So I definitely don't want to be a part of no judgment. So I'm just going to pretend I didn't hear it, I didn't see it. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, no.
Go ahead.
My brother, and that's the thing I keep telling everyone, we're all responsible for what happens in the house of Yahweh.
No doubt.
So when it's found out about that person, don't be surprised if you might find yourself out the door with that person.
Ain't no might. From this point on, when I find out something has gone on, and I found out you know about it, you going out with them. So when you saw it, you might as well go on and do it. When you see them doing foulness and you don't say or do nothing about it, go ahead and unzip your trousers too, because your ass is getting out of here. You going with them. I don't give a damn if it's 2 years and I find out about it. I found out about it today. They going home and you going home too. And that's according to this word. You got a problem with it? Take it up with Yahweh. But you're going to be taking it up at your house because you're getting out of here. The time they get, you get it too. If they got 7 weeks, you got 7 weeks for hearing about it and not doing anything about it. You were standing there and said nothing. We ain't going to keep dealing with that. Go ahead, bro.
And you shall speak unto the children of Israel, saying, Whosoever curses his Elohim shall bear his sin. And he that blasphemed the name of Yahweh, he shall surely be put to death, and all the congregation shall certainly stone him, as well the stranger as he that is born in the land. When he blasphemed the name of Yahweh, shall he be put to death.
Right. And they're still doing that in these other countries. Folk, we like to go visit places, but you might want to get you a whole lot of information about them places you visit. At least something come out of your mouth and you find out.
I can say this freely in America.
Right. Well, now they got you tied to a tree. Whoever that is, you go over there in the Muslim countries and say the wrong thing about Muhammad. You not coming out. Oh, no, they're not playing. No. No, you get the death penalty. Because of something you said. Facebook can get you killed.
They turn around, excuse me, bro. Is this you right here? Brown Nasty 214. Is that you? Is it you? Yeah, that's you. Hey, y'all come on in. Brown Nasty 214, right here.
Next thing you know, they stringing you up. You done forgot you posted that. You posted that 2 years ago. I'm sorry, but you done take them out today. They just saw it today. You posted that 2 years ago. Hey, no, right here, Brown Nasty 214. That's him right there. He finna be Brown Nasty 213 tonight. Cause we about to lose one. Right. We don't even consider that. Man, these people, when I heard that they killing people because a person said something about, hey man, You got to be on your P's and Q's. When we get ready to go through these people's land, don't think you're gonna walk through there and your wife gonna have on some booty shorts and a hair out. It might be the last time you see your wife. And depending on what land we in, they might play with her a little bit before they kill her. Because they got some strange individuals. Strange situation.
I figured she must have been a harlot because she was dressed like one. So we was going to test drive.
If you show up with a fireman's uniform, we expect you to have a hose. Water hose. Water hose. It's a water hose. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate that. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 5. I want to read verse 1. Leviticus chapter 5. I want to read verse 1.
And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing.
All right, listen. If a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing, go ahead.
And is a witness.
He is a witness. He or she is a witness. Go ahead.
Whether he has seen or known of it.
Seen or known of it. Go ahead.
If he do not utter it.
If he does not utter it.
Then he shall bear his lawlessness.
Yeah, all right. So I take that mic and I raise you. You understand?
Yes, sir.
I take your mic and I raise you. Ain't no they might. If I hear about it, you're out of here. If I found out you knew about it, you're out of here. Whatever punishment they get, you getting it too. And if you have a problem, make sure you take it up with your God. The door is open for you to get right in front of this altar. Say whatever you got to say. Let's go to Job chapter 1. See, we're going to cut out those things and you find out, stuff been going on for 2-3 years. How is that possible? That means somebody ain't doing their job.
Well, I don't want to say nothing. I didn't want to make nobody feel uncomfortable.
Well, you about to be uncomfortable. Go on outside. Do you like them Jehovah's Witnesses do? They excommunicate you. And when they excommunicate you, you excommunicated even at your house. Can't nobody talk to you. They see you at the mall. They be like, You're like, what? You can't even talk to them at Kroger. You can't talk to them at Kroger? But we just on the cereal aisle. They got to talk to you like you're some kind of drug lord.
Go to the stock room. Just don't look at me. Go to the stock room. I'm gonna double back now. I'm gonna go through produce. All right, and I'm gonna meet you in the middle. So what you do, you go through the stock room. Stop looking at me. Go to the stock room now.
Right. And these grown men and women, y'all don't understand. Folk do wrong, they get excommunicated. Nobody in the congregation can talk to them. Right. But then it made sense to me when other individuals were told that they couldn't talk to certain people. I looked back and I said, oh, them people grew up Jehovah's Witness. So when the electric blanket or the comforter, whoever the hell the dude said he was, when he told them they couldn't talk to nobody, it made sense to me why that brother listened to them, because he had been raised by them Jehovah's Witnesses. So it made sense when the electric blanket told him that he wasn't allowed to talk to nobody unless they was in, a holy sanctioned rap group. It made sense to me then, Go ahead, bro. Let's go to Job chapter 1.
There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job.
Uh-huh.
And that man was perfect and upright and one that feared Elohim and eschewed evil.
Now, he eschewed evil, meaning he hated it. All right? So we have to ask ourselves a question. Why would Elohim want a man who is perfect, upright, and hates evil to be tested? This is $1 million question. Why does he want him to be tested? We have to now ask this question. Was Job's test really about Job? Then we got to look at who the one individual that was closest to him, who we didn't hear anything about. That's Job's wife. We have to ask ourselves a question. What was this test really about? He's perfect. He's upright. He hates evil. Why is he being tested? But there's another variable in this equation. Go ahead.
And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels, and 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 she-asses, and a very great household.
Very great household. All right? So let's just go ahead and put it out there. Yo, rich. All right? He got it like that. Go ahead.
So that this man was the greatest of all the men of the east.
All right. Greatest. Go ahead.
And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, it might be that my sons have sinned, and cursed Elohim in their hearts. Thus did Job continually.
So then he is not only, seeing about himself, he's also offering up supplications for his family. Upright. But listen to Yahweh. Go ahead.
Now there was a day when the sons of Elohim came to present themselves before Yahweh, and Satan came also among them.
So then we see that the angels have days that they must make an appearance as well. So the angels are having their appearance, and here comes the adversary, the devil, and Yahweh enters into this conversation. Now understand, look at who is initiating this. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And Yahweh said unto Satan, whence cometh you?
Where you been, dog? Because you definitely a dog, you ain't no lion. Go ahead.
Then Satan answered Yahweh and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it.
Now here come the question.
And Yahweh said unto Satan, have you considered my servant Job?
Why you throw my name in there? I mean, you said the brother was perfect and upright, and the brother hated evil. So why you want to get his brother my name? So we talking about Yahweh done did some holy snitching at this point. He done dropped Job's name on Satan's desk. Why you snitch on me? I thought you loved me. I mean, you said the brother was upright, and the brother, trying to do right. You tell the brother that, brother hate evil. Why you want to put my name on his desk? Keep reading.
That there's none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that fears Elohim and escheweth evil.
Right, man. He got all this stuff going on. See, most people believe that when they get tested, we're getting tested because we haven't done something right. He said, he's done all this right. Go down there and test him. Go ahead.
Then Satan answered Yahweh and said, does Job fear Elohim for naught?
So now, he know him. See? Man, he don't fear you for nothing. Go ahead.
Have not you made a hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he has on every side?
You think I don't see that hedge? I'm an angel. I see that you done protected him. Go ahead.
You have blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land.
He is rich. Go ahead.
But put forth your hand now, and touch all that he has, and he will curse you to your face. And Yahweh said unto Satan, behold, all that he has is in your power. Only upon himself put not forth your hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of Yahweh.
So now, you find Yahweh and the adversary, the devil, engaged in the high stakes game of spiritual chess, and Job is the pawn. So it seems. Go ahead.
And there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And there came a messenger unto Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the ass feeding beside them. And the Sabaeans fell upon them, and they took them away. Yes, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell you. While he was yet speaking, there came also another, and said, the fire of Elohim is fallen from heaven, and has burnt up the sheep and the servants and consumed them. And I only am escaped alone to tell you.
So we're talking about a single file line of destruction. You don't even get to fully weep about the first disaster as he's giving. Now, this is what's called Break You Down 2000. All right? This is the Break You Down 2000 package right here. This is before you can cry about one thing, I'm going to deliver something else to you. And we swear we be going through stuff. Oh, we swear life's so unfair. We swear, oh my goodness, I just can't take no more. Just the next fella gonna break my back. Oh God. But we ain't had that Break You Down 2000 package. Because this one right here is serious. Keep going.
While he was yet speaking, there came also another, and said,
While he was yet speaking. So this one don't even get to finish before. Now, the adversary laid out a hell of a plan now. This is a hell of a destruction plan right here. This is destruction from inside out. Although he's also taking his substance. Okay? And you know, all we got to see is our balance look funny. And our heart start breathing. Our heart and our chest and everything. That, you know, what? These numbers not right. Baby, you seen the bank account? All of his stuff is going away before his eyes, and before he gets an opportunity to process that information, another load of information is coming. Go ahead.
The Chaldeans made out 3 bands, and fell upon the camels, and have carried them away. Yes, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword. And I only am escaped alone to tell you. While he was yet speaking, there came also another, and said, Your sons and your daughters were eating and drinking in their eldest brother's house, and behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness, and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young man, and they are dead. And I only am escaped alone to tell you.
Now, why did he go in that order? Do you understand? See, if he's telling that his sons and his kids are dead, none of the substance loss bothers him.
Mm-hmm.
The adversary knew exactly what order to even announce destruction and do destruction. He took his substance first, then took his children. Because see, once your children gone, you don't really give a hot damn about your camels. You don't give a damn about your sheep or goats. You trying to go get whoever harmed your babies. So all the substance goes first, then he touches the babies. He knows exactly what order to even administer destruction. Go ahead.
That last one was supposed to be what they call the straw to brace the camel.
There it is. So he has it laid out in order. And we'll go to whining to Yahweh. Sometimes when we go to whining to Yahweh, you should actually get in this book and look at somebody else's stuff, and you might pray again right after that.
Yahweh, I'm sorry. You know the stuff I said last night? I was praying. I was all in my feelings. I felt some kind of way. I felt that, you know, it was all about me. Last night's prayer, it was all about me. I should have prayed to myself about myself. I was so in myself. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I just got in this book and found out what the people was going through, and I cried about their mess. Please forgive me.
You be so stuck up in your own thing that you really think you're going through something. A spoiled kid or whine and say, oh my God, this is not enough steak. I can't believe this. When? And where's the great poupon? That's what some of our arguments sound like to Yahweh. What else have I not given these people? Go ahead.
Then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head, and fell down upon the ground and worshipped, and said, Naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. Yahweh gave, and Yahweh has taken away. Blessed be the name of Yahweh. In all this Job sinned not, nor charged Elohim foolishly.
In all this, with all of this loss, he still never cursed his Elohim. And remember, this is the wager. The wager is he will curse you to your face. Go ahead. Keep going.
And there was a day when the sons of Elohim came to present themselves before Yahweh. And Satan came also among them to present himself before Yahweh.
And you have to look and examine some of this and how this is playing out. Go ahead.
And Yahweh said unto Satan, From whence cometh you? And Satan answered Yahweh and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And Yahweh said unto Satan, Have you considered my servant Job?
Here it is. Let me tell you something. I really want to be big in Yahweh's eyes. I want him to see me as a worthy servant. I don't really want him to put my name on Lucifer's desk, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, there's levels to this thing. You understand? So whatever the level that is, I don't want that level. I don't want that level. I don't want him to say, you know what, I believe sucks so good that he could take. I would appreciate it if you would not. I really would. Oh, Yahweh, you know I love you. Please don't put my name on Lucifer's desk. I would really appreciate it if we hush, don't discuss us when he's around. Okay? Please don't speak of me when he comes to visit you. Go ahead.
That there is none like him in the earth.
Then he brags on him. Look at what Yahweh do. Go ahead.
A perfect man and an upright man.
Perfect man.
One that fears Elohim and eschews evil. And still he holds fast his integrity.
You see that?
Although you moved me against him to destroy him without a cause.
So, wait a minute. So do you understand what's going on? Now, Yahweh is actually taunting Lucifer. Now he's taunting him.
Look at that. He said he's still, I told you he's perfectly upright. He's still all that, you took all that stuff from him. Look at it, you see how you see that? He said, and then you wasn't successful. Call yourself the adversary. You should change your name. You supposed to be an angel. You couldn't even move a man. You done walked up and down the stones of fire. You suck. Oh, now Lucifer fired up now. Go ahead.
And Satan answered Yahweh and said,
Oh, he fired up now. Go ahead.
Skin for skin.
Oh, now you about to make me go in on this, yo. Go ahead.
Yea, all that a man has will he give for his life. But put forth your hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse you to your face.
I got another plan. Go ahead.
And Yahweh said unto Satan, Behold, he's in your hand, but save his life.
Save his life. Now, because he has to save his life, a woman and a man become one. Her life is automatically saved through his life. That part is not mentioned in the equation. Lucifer understands the equation. Yahweh don't have to explain to him E = MC squared. He already knows. Go ahead.
So went Satan forth from the presence of Yahweh, and smote Job with sore balls from the sole of his foot onto his crown. And he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Then said his wife unto him, Does you still retain your integrity? Curse Elohim and die.
Now you have to ask yourself a question. Is this what the entire test was all about? Was it really about her? From Jump Street, Yahweh said he was perfect and upright. Yahweh said he was going to hold fast his integrity. Why is he bringing this to him then? Then taunts Lucifer to go in deeper. Maybe he's attached himself to something that Yahweh need to deal with. Go ahead.
But he said unto her, You speak as one of the foolish women speaks.
You see that? Now how many of y'all would say, okay, baby? You have some men that they are man's man until they woman start talking. Then they become less manly. They go from less to manly to less manly when the woman talk. Look at Lester Manley. But we know him by his nickname Les. Right. Read, bro.
What? Shall we receive good at the hands of Elohim?
Now that's when you know when a real brother talking. What? What? You ain't gonna convince me on this one right here. I don't care who you, I don't care how fine you is, Keisha. Look here. You ain't gonna convince me to curse my Elohim and die. You got the right plan, you just got the wrong man. And you can tell that by the beginning of the sentence. What? You know you about to get into something when a brother start his sentence with, what? Go ahead, bro.
Shall we receive good at the hand of Elohim? And shall we not receive evil?
Shall we receive good? Now, what point was he making? Understand something. Let me back up. He was rich. She lived in luxury. She had servants. She had power. She had a name. She was Job's wife. Matter of fact, that ain't her name. That is her name. Don't even give her no name. She don't need no name. No, you need to know her name. Her name is Job's wife. You understand? She ain't even saying her name, because don't nobody, what's your name, Keisha? My name Job's wife. Oh, damn, you married to Job? Well, come on in, girl. Come on in. Look, we got all this over here on sale. Understand something? Oh, that go along with the territory. Oh, you married to Job? You mean Job? You mean the greatest man of the East, Job? You know about him got all them camels and sheep and goats and that him, Job? That's your husband? Girl, come on in here. Come on in here. Anything you want. Look, I'll make them, if they pick it up, I'll make them put it down. Put that down. Your wife won't that. So her name is not important in this equation. She has no reason to say her name. Wherever she go, I'm Job's wife. He said, shall we receive good? Why did he go there? She enjoys all the luxuries of being with him. Shall you not receive the bad that comes with that as well? Or do you only focus on the good things that come with being with Job? Keep going, bro.
And all this did not Job sin with his lips.
And all this he did not sin with his lips. Go ahead.
Now when Job's 3 friends heard of all this evil that was come upon him, they came everyone from his own place, Eliphaz the Temanite, and Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite, for they had made an appointment together to come to mourn with him and to comfort him. And when they lifted up their eyes afar off, and knew him not, they lifted up their voice and wept, and they rent everyone his mantle, and sprinkled dust upon their heads toward heaven.
They didn't think he was going to look that bad. Go ahead.
So they sat down with him upon the ground 7 days and 7 nights, and none spake a word unto him, for they saw that his grief was very great.
All right. Now, chapter 2 shows that it is Yahweh that wants Satan to go in deeper. He pretty much taunts Lucifer concerning his failure to cause Job to curse him. The book of Job has 42 chapters, and yet his wife has encouraged him to curse Elohim and die before the ending of chapter 2. There are 40 more chapters to this story. And in chapter 2, his wife, who has enjoyed all the luxuries of being with Job, matter of fact, she's alive because Yahweh stated the spiritual condition save his life. That is why she is alive. Otherwise, she would have been dead with the kids. By chapter 2, she has encouraged her husband to curse Elohim and die. There are 40 more chapters to this situation. I'm not saying that, there's certain things that you have to examine. None of us can say that we're never going to fall. We know we're going to fall at some point. But if it's 40 chapters, I would hope you wouldn't fall by chapter 2. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I mean, make it to the teens with a brother. You know what I'm talking about? Make it to the teens with a, can you fall by chapter 19 something? I mean, come on, chapter 2. But chapter 2? How you gonna fall in chapter 2? I got 40 more chapters to my struggle. And you falling at chapter 2? The book of Job has 42 chapters, yet his wife has encouraged him to curse Elohim and die before the ending of chapter 2. How authentic to Yahweh was Job's wife? She obviously enjoyed the power, substance, and attention that came with being with a man like Job. But did she love what Job loved? did she fight against his desires? What kind of wife was she? Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 13. So, they say those things, that they read, and they said, in the good and the bad, through sickness and in health. We just say, I do. Deuteronomy chapter 13, and let's read verses 6 through 18.
If your brother, the son of your mother, or your son, or your daughter, or the wife of your bosom,
Or the wife of your bosom, go ahead.
or your friend,
Uh-huh.
which is as your own soul, entice you secretly, saying, let us go and serve other gods.
Okay, now wait a minute. So then we got to do something. Entice you secretly, saying go after other gods. You have to pay attention to what was said by Job's wife. Curse Elohim and die. She tried to get him to go against Yahweh. Go ahead.
Which you have not known, you nor your fathers, namely the gods of the people which are round about you, near unto you, or far off from you, from the one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. You shall not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him. Neither shall your eye pity him, neither shall you spare, neither shall you conceal him.
You see that? Conceal. So, once again, when we have situations, and I found out that people have known and didn't deal with it, you're going to get dealt with the person. Whatever their situation is, that's what you get. Go ahead.
But you shall surely kill him. Your hand shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people.
Afterwards, the hand of all the people. Go ahead.
And you shall stone him with stones that he die, because he has sought to thrust you away from Yahweh your Elohim.
Because he sought to thrust you away. Now, this was just chapter 2 of Job's struggle. And he was already encouraged to go away from Yahweh, from the very one who benefited the most from his relationship with Yahweh. Nobody benefited more. Her kids was somebody because they was Job's kids. Her kids were treated a certain way, not because she gave birth to them, but because they were Job's kids. Nobody benefited as much as she did. Go ahead.
Which brought you out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. And all Israel shall hear and fear, and shall do no more any such wickedness as this is among you. If you shall hear say in one of your cities, which Yahweh your Elohim has given you to dwell there, saying, certain men, the children of Belial, are gone out from among you, and have withdrawn the inhabitants of their city, saying, let us go and serve other gods which they have not known. Then shall you inquire and make search, and ask diligently, and, behold, if it be truth, and the thing certain, that such abomination is wrought among you, you shall surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, and all that is therein, and the cattle thereof with the edge of the sword. And you shall gather all the spoil of it into the midst of the street thereof, and shall burn with fire the city, and all the spoil thereof every whit. For Yahweh your El, and it shall be an heap forever. It shall not be built again.
So what you have to get from this is the power in which, or the indignation that Yahweh brings forth when somebody is enticed to go into a different direction than what Yahweh has pointed them in. That's what I want you to get out of that. And no matter who it is. Go ahead.
And there shall cleave not of the cursed thing to your hand, that Yahweh may turn from the fierceness of his anger and show you mercy, and have compassion upon you, and multiply you, as he has sworn unto your fathers. When you shall hearken to the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to keep all his commandments which I command you this day, to do that which is right in the eyes of Yahweh your Elohim.
All right, now let's go back to Job, so that you have a focal point to base some of this on, so that you understand the mind of Yahweh, which is located in his law. You ain't got to be a mind reader. You got to be a law reader. Don't try to read his mind. Read his law. Job chapter 42. And let's start at verse 1.
Then Job answered Yahweh and said, I know that you can't do everything. And that
I know that you can't do everything. Go ahead.
I know that you can't do everything, and that no thought can be withholden from you. Who is he that hides counsel without knowledge? Therefore have I uttered that I understand not, things too wonderful for me, which I knew not. Here, I beseech you, and I'll speak, I'll demand of you, and declare you unto me. I have heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now mine eye sees you. Wherefore I abhor myself, and repent in dust and ashes.
Right. See, I've heard of you, but now when the way in which you have visited me, oh no. I know our relationship on a different level. Go ahead.
And it was so that after Yahweh had spoken these words unto Job, Yahweh said to Eliphaz the Temanite, My wrath is kindled against you, and against your two friends, for you have not spoken of me the thing that is right, as my servant Job has.
Okay, stop. These people said some things that wasn't right within these chapters. Why Yahweh ain't saying nothing about the wife, though? She said some word than all them. And she said worse first. Go ahead.
Therefore take unto you now 7 bullocks and 7 rams, and go to my servant Job, and offer up for yourselves a burnt offering.
He is giving them a path of redemption. So, here's the thing. Sometimes we'll look and say, well, he didn't say nothing negative about her. He also didn't offer a path of redemption. You might want to get that negative saying so you can get the path to redemption. Read, bro.
And my servant Job shall pray for you.
Path to redemption. We're so busy not wanting to be spoken out about that we don't understand. Therein lies your path to redemption. He's not speaking about her. My elder used to say, I used to ask him sometimes, he used to be so hard on me. I said, do you even like me? He said, I love you, fool. He said, be worried when I stop talking to you. He said, do you see me engaging in conversation with everybody? I was like, no. But they don't be getting fussed at like me. So, I was wah. So I recognize it when other people be around here, wah. Oh, I recognize it well. He said, no, be worried when I ain't got nothing to say to you. Yahweh does not mention her at all. This is the ending of the story. He's telling these brothers what they did wrong. He's also giving them a path to redemption. Where's hers? Go ahead.
For him will I accept, lest I deal with you after your folly, and that you have not spoken of me the thing which is right, like my servant Job.
Now, deal with that. My servant Job shall pray for you. For him will I accept, lest I deal with you after your folly, and that you have spoken of me the thing which is right, like my spoken, because you have not spoken of me. He says, I reserve the right to deal with you, but I'm giving you an opportunity. See, you don't have to just pay attention to what Yahweh says. You have to also pay attention to what he does not say. There's somebody else who said something way worse than what they said. There is no path being offered here. Go ahead.
At this point, they had done spoke down to Job. Imagine if they kept it. I ain't going to him and ask him to pray for me.
Right. This is the humbling part. Now you got to go and ask for prayer for the very person who you've been talking down upon. And let me tell you something. When Yahweh when he sell a misdirection play, he really sell it. This is a real misdirection play. It make everybody think that you done lost everything. He done lost all his money. He done lost his health. He done lost all of these things. He done lost his children. This is when people are so free to say whatever they want to say about you because you have lost everything. Yahweh has made the path for their mouth to open wide. Yahweh make you sick so all your sick haters can open their mouth and speak against you. Yahweh was only making you sick so you to see. So I already knew they were your haters. I want to make sure you know that I know that we know that now we all know that they hate us. But I need to bring you to your deathbed so I can show you something. Go ahead.
So Eliphaz the Temanite and Bildad the Shuhite and Zophar the Naamathite went and did according to Yahweh as Yahweh commanded them. Yahweh also accepted Job.
Now, Yahweh done gave Job hell now. Don't think that it was just them speaking. Yahweh said some things in this situation, man, that, you know, if the hell of all the earth said it against us, we would just implode. We would blow up inside ourselves. You know, I mean, it would be a crater where we were standing. We couldn't even find us. This is some heartbreaking stuff, especially when you were said to be an upright and just individual. Go ahead.
And Yahweh turned the captivity of Job when he prayed for his friends.
Now check this out. Now look at the beauty of Yahweh. His captivity is turned. Now you said, imagine if they didn't want to go to him. But imagine if Job didn't want to pray for the individuals who had been saying negative stuff about him. My God is really a genius. Absolute genius. So everybody's salvation is depending on the other one. Oh, message pickup. I need a bell. Ping. Okay. All right. Keep reading, brother.
Also, Yahweh gave Job twice as much as he had before.
Oh, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He done gave him back his stuff. No, he didn't give him back his stuff. He gave him back more stuff. Now, what if you focus on the stuff? It's just stuff. He's the heir of all the earth. All the stuff is his. What I took from you was mine, and what I gave you back was mine too. And I gave you better. So now, after you know, Job is getting a second chance. I explained to people, they said, you know, why you doing all this? You going over here, you doing this at your house, you doing this. Let me tell you something. When you get a second chance at life, you don't do the same damn thing you did on the first go round. If you do, you suck. Okay? You don't get a second chance and do the same thing that you did in the first. You are absolutely pissing on your new chance, is what you're doing. So Yahweh's whole point here is his life is better now. Now read about the better. Keep going.
Then came there unto him all his brethren and all his sisters, and all they that had been his acquaintance before, and did eat bread with him in his house. And they bemoaned him.
Now, his brothers and sisters, have you heard about them? I don't know if y'all read this story. Had anybody said anything about him, brother? You ain't know he had no damn brothers and sisters while all this was going on. Now, all of a sudden, brothers and sisters done came into this scenario. What the hell they been? You know what I'm talking about? What they been? What they been? The man Poe, he's sick. He's scraping himself with a pot. He got boils all over the place. What the hell is brothers and sisters at? Now, they in the story. But pay attention who not. Go ahead.
And comfort him over all the evil that Yahweh had brought upon him.
All right. They are comforting him. He's being comforted now. But pay attention to who's not comforting him. Go ahead.
Every man also gave him a piece of money, and every one an earring of gold. So Yahweh blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning.
More than his beginning. Wait a minute. So then Yahweh had an issue somewhere with his beginning. Go ahead.
For he had 14,000 sheep and 6,000 camels and 1,000 yoke of oxen and 1,000 she-asses. He had also 7 sons and 3 daughters.
Wait a minute now. Now he's mentioning kids. Pay attention to what he ain't mentioning. Don't just pay attention to what he's mentioning. Pay attention to what he's not mentioning. He got brothers and sisters that miraculously showed up in chapter 42. Where had they been? Okay? People showing up with money and gifts. There's 7 sons and 3 daughters. Now he's going into even more. Keep reading.
And he called the name of his first Yemima.
Okay.
And the name of the second Keziah.
Uh-huh.
And the name of the third Karen Hapuk.
Wait a minute. Now you understand something. Wait a minute. He not even mentioning nothing but the daughters. He not even mentioning the names of the sons. What point is Yahweh making here? Why is he? Let me tell you something. You know a woman is great in scripture when Yahweh purposely puts her name there. They don't particularly put the women name in there. Okay? Now you can be great good and you can be great bad. Sometimes you don't want your name make the story. But these daughters have now made it into the story. But these are new daughters. These are new sons. You have to now ask yourself, did Yahweh systematically get rid of every offspring that came from that woman? Read, brother.
And in all the land were no women found so fair as the daughters of Job.
Now the conversation has changed to his daughters. Wait a minute. What about the sons? And I ain't talking about them. Why is Yahweh focusing on the women? He's making a hell of a point right here. Go ahead.
And their father gave them inheritance among their brethren.
Now we talking about inheritance given to the daughters. What mama at? Or at least the first mama. Because remember, the oldest son was grown, had his own house. We know he grown. So where all the rest of these kids come from? And there was no path offered for redemption. Maybe the entire situation was put forth so that she could say the things out of her mouth that Yahweh already knew was in her heart. Go ahead, bro.
After this lived Job 140 years, and saw his sons and his sons' sons' sons, even 4 generations. So Job died, being old and full of days.
Yahweh knew from jump, Job not going to transgress. You can do whatever you want. Job not going to transgress. If Yahweh knew that much about Job, he also knew that much about his wife. Oh no, he's not going to curse Elohim. But I know somebody who is. So go ahead and do what you do. Because it's going to be my chance to clean up a situation that I've been wanting to clean up for a while now. You have to ask yourself, why did he push Lucifer? I mean, he taunted him to go back in on Job. See, sometimes we come to a new place in our life. But what we want is a better version of the same bad that we're already accustomed to. But to be in a better situation, you have to possess a better mindset. The same mindset in a better place will eventually transform the new place into the old one in your mind. Sometimes people get in new relationships and expect it to be a better version of the same bad relationship that they just got out of. It never does occur to us that as we pray for better, that our mind has to rise up to be better for the better that we desire. We have to get ready to see things from the eyes of Yah. This may mean that some of the people that you call friends will be proven as enemies. Not that they are enemies unto you, but they are enemies unto Elohim. We must understand that maintaining a relationship with an enemy of Yah puts a strain on your relationship with him, depending on how you deal with that relationship. The law is situation based, but that does not mean that Yahweh is always going to wait until the situation presents itself in order for him to deal with it. The law itself is set up in such a way. when it comes to unclean foods, Yahweh has the touching of a carcass of the unclean animal as an issue. This setup means that the law gets activated before the action of eating the unclean animal. Those are stages that Yahweh is setting up. That means there are speed bumps that you should be hitting that eventually slows you down from committing the ultimate act. The lusting of something that does not belong to you is the beginning of sin, though the actual sin of theft or adultery has not been committed yet. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 4. And I think we're going to stop. This is going to be our last one. We'll have to come back and deal with the last part there. Ephesians chapter 4, and we're going to start that at verse 1.
I therefore, the prisoner of the Adonai, beseech you that you walk worthy of the vocation wherewith you are called.
Right. What were you called to do? You have to walk accordingly. Not what you call yourself to do. Go ahead.
With all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit of the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, even as you are called in one hope of your calling.
If there's one body and one spirit, that means the house moves together. That needs to be your natural house and your spiritual house. The house has to move accordingly. The Spirit is driving those things. When you get something that wants to take another direction, it's entertaining another spirit. Go ahead.
You know, brother, even in verse 1, with that whole thing of all you gotta do is have faith, that kills it right there. Because if you understand what vocation means, then you understand that something has to be done. It says, beseech that you walk worthy of the job wherewith you are called.
Right.
Well, you know, my job's my faith.
What? How the hell you work at that? Tell me when you clocked in at that.
Where you going? I work at Faith University.
What the hell is that?
It's in my mind.
Right. That's where your check gonna be. In your mind. That's where your next meal gonna be. In your mind. I hope you get full. Go ahead, bro.
There's one body and one Spirit, even as you are called in one hope of your calling. One Adonai, one faith, one baptism, one Elohim and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. But unto every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of the Mashiach. Wherefore he says, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive and gave gifts unto men. Now that he ascended, what is it but that he also descend first into the lower parts of the earth?
Right. At that baptism, the Spirit descended in the bodily shape of a dove and rested on the body of Yahshua. That was Israel, who he says, this is my son in whom I'm well pleased. Yahshua was a body made, carefully constructed to be able to hold the Spirit of Israel. For 30 years, he didn't say, this is my son. It was at baptism that he said, this is my son. He's talking to the Spirit, not the fleshly man. Go ahead.
He that descended is the same also that ascended up far above all heavens, that he might fill all things. And he gave some apostles.
Right. These are vocations. These are jobs, and they have purposes. Go ahead.
And he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers.
Now, what's the purpose? Go ahead.
For the perfecting of the saints.
Right. We just want something to perfect ourselves. What work are you doing, and who gets helped by the work?
Well, you know, I'm a prophet.
Okay. You that's what you do? You prophesy?
Yes. So what do you prophesy? Things that I like.
Damn. So your prophecy about you then. How does the children of Israel grow from your prophecy of yourself? The job is given, okay, for the perfecting of the saints. There's a purpose for the job. Go ahead.
For the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Yahshua.
For the edifying of the body. You understand that Yahweh might send you through hell just so you can explain something to the body? So some of the things that you go through ain't got nothing to do with you. It was so you can edify somebody else. Go ahead.
Till we all come into the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of Elohim, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of the Mashiach. That we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine.
Children, if everything catches you on the internet, you need to put on your diapers before you go on the internet, lest you poop yourself, going from doctrine to doctrine. Why are you still doing that? You're supposed to be grown up, but you're acting like a child.
Man, I heard this brand new doctrine.
Why you get a new doctrine every week? Go ahead.
By the sleight of men and cunning craftiness.
Right, and that's what we like. As my elder used to always say, we teach people how to rule over us. We like that cunning craftiness. Let it be something that we can't understand. See, we don't want things to be really simplistic in the word, because the simplest stuff in the word are the hardest things to do. We want to get into something. Oh man, you know, they do this mystical thing, man, where they go out in the woods and they do such and such. Yeah, man, they do all these things, man. Yeah, man, it's now I have to let you listen to this brother, man, how he explained it, man. It's deep. You know what's deep? Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Right. So you got folk that want to gather together to listen to somebody who's supposed to be deep. And they stepping on Yahweh's law to do it. And you can't tell them nothing. Because they've been appointed to such. See, when Dawid was appointed, couldn't nobody convince him. He went 9 months and 20 days. There ain't nothing nobody in here could have said to him. You wasn't going to come to him by way of Yahweh or by no more your way or whoever way. He wasn't going to hear you because he had spiritual blinders on. Only when those blinders were removed was he able to see himself. Go ahead, bro.
Whereby they lie in wait to deceive, but speaking the truth in love may grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even the Mashiach, from whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplies, according to the effectual working in the measure of every part, makes increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love. This I say therefore, and testify in the Adonai, that you henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their minds.
Check that out. Walking in the vanity of your mind. And the mind is a scary place. You can get lost in there. You got to be careful. In the vanity of your mind. How do you walk? What governs the things that you do? Is it only governed by the limitations of your mind? Or does some law jump up in there? See, when the law is in there, your mind will get ready to take you down the street on the left, and the law said,
Don't go down that street. You know what's down that street. We can't go down there. That ain't our street, it's Lucifer Street. Don't go down there. Don't even peek down there.
Go ahead.
Having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of Elohim through the ignorance that is in them, because of the blindness of their heart.
You see that? When David's heart was blinded, he oversaw a completely just erroneous plan put forth and pushed it from town to town until his heart was no longer blinded. Then he automatically sought redemption. Those are the things that I need you to pay attention to. That even when people do wrong, when Yahweh has mercy, he removes the blinders off their eyes so they can see what they've done, which offers a plan of redemption. You need to pay attention to those times when Yahweh mentions absolutely nothing. He does not speak against the individual, but he also does not offer them a plan of redemption. You would rather have him speak against you and then offer you a plan for redemption than to never say anything at all. Then you know for a fact you go into the lake of fire. Go ahead, bro.
Who being past feeling have given themselves over unto lasciviousness, to work all uncleanness with greediness. But you have not so learned the Mashiach, if so be that you have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Yahshua, that you put off concerning the former conversation the old man.
Right, and that's very difficult to do, because the old man is very, very difficult to kill. All right? The old man is there. Everywhere you go, the old man's there. And all it takes is the right situation and the old man pops up. You can be in the midst of singing holy spiritual songs, humming a psalm or a proverb, and a brother in a red pickup cut you off. And that old man, he come down from the bottom, and boy, he come and he lifts you up a little bit. You speak different when that old man come inside of you. And you make up cuss words that don't even go together. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you're a little rusty at it, but you don't let that stop you. You keep on throwing them out there, right? It's hard to get rid of the old man, so you have to work at that. Go ahead.
Which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind.
Because that's where the battle is. You have to be renewed in the spirit of your mind. See, we build up our own walls in our own mind and then confine ourselves to the walls that we ourselves made. Go ahead.
And that you put on the new man, which after Elohim is created in righteousness and true holiness. Wherefore, putting away lying.
Right, and we'll lie like it ain't there. Let any situation come on. We need to get out of it. Lie. We done got so good at lying, but we don't understand. Yahweh ends up showing us some things and showing the people who you talking to, and they just hold their peace, and they looking at you, and they can see. I can tell exactly what a lie is. This part is true, but that part ain't. Go ahead.
Speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. Be you angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your anger. Neither give place to the devil.
Right. Because if you are to be renewed in the spirit of your mind, but then you are angry and you meditate upon the anger, you have now given place to the adversary, the devil. Now he's finna play with you. Now he know you're angry. Now he's working with you with your anger.
You know what? You know, man, they treating you like a punk. They don't believe you. You soft. Won't you? You know what? Take that off. Won't you put them pink socks on over there? You soft. If I was you, you know what I'd do? I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just saying if I was you, what I'd do. Well, I'd turn this whole place inside out. That's what I'd do. But you probably wouldn't do that because you're soft.
Now he in your mind.
I ain't soft.
When you see a brother and he start talking like he in the middle of a conversation, get the hell on. In the middle of the conversation, if the brother just go in the out of nowhere, I ain't soft. Oh hell. Start getting your bag. He having a conversation with somebody. He negotiating with himself or the adversary of the devil. Go ahead, brother.
Let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands the thing which is good, that he may have to give to him that needs.
Right. What work have you done? In other words, when it comes down, I was having a conversation with a brother, and the conversation led to this, and it was enlightening for both of us. You know, when you do your taxes, you got write-offs. When you do any spiritual works, you understand them your spiritual write-offs. At some point, you're gonna have to take an accounting. Yahweh is gonna bring some accounting. Ask yourself something. What kind of spiritual write-offs do you have? See, you find out something with them little people that you got at the house, them write-offs. Oh, they worth money on the taxes. That's why folks be like, excuse me, you gonna use James this year? Yes, I am. Get the hell out of here. They want to use them dependents, them write-offs. Hey, man, what kind of work have you done? What kind of spiritual write-offs do you have? See? You understand, if you ain't got no spiritual write-offs, you know you're gonna get ate up. You gotta find you some write-offs. See, if we ain't learned nothing else from the orange man, you learn that he said, y'all stupid. Yeah, I made many millions, but I don't pay no taxes. Why? He got write-offs. He learned how to write off everything that he wanted to buy. The reason we getting hit, we ain't got no write-offs. So when it comes down for you to do your spiritual taxes, what write-offs do you have? See?
You show Yahweh, yeah, Yahweh, every time offering was I put $10 in.
All right. What are your write-offs? You ain't got no spiritual write-off? Oh, that means we got to deal with this, with everything straight up. You deal everything straight up, you ain't make it. I can tell you that now. And you gonna sure wish you put in a whole hell of a lot more than $10. Because no write-offs is going to take you. That's going to take you out of here. Go ahead, brother.
You know, one of them first write-offs is what? Earned income, right?
Right.
That means you got to have a job, right?
Right.
So in this walk, where's your job?
Right. Where's your earned income, your spiritual earned income credit? Where's your spiritual your earned income credit at? Go ahead.
Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you are sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice.
But see, to some, they think the answer is,
I'm just not gonna say anything. See, I don't wanna have any bitterness or wrath or anger or clamor or evil speaking. So when I saw that evil, I didn't say nothing about it.
right, I'm throwing you out here with them. Go ahead.
And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you.
Right. What is that about? That is about caring for your brother like you care for yourself. And if you care for your brother the way that you care for yourself, that means when you saw evil, you wouldn't have kept your mouth closed. You would have been concerned about the next individual who was going to have to encounter that. That means you was only caring about you. And that's not going to work. Let us consider these things because life is drastically changing right before our eyes. These are the things that are happening right now are the things that Hollywood movies are made of. And we're living right through it. But let us not get caught up like the people during the time of Noah, and who said, "Hey, we're gonna go on about our life until the day the heavens open up." And at that day, everybody wants to repent, but Yahweh not accepting your repentance. Then seek Him while He shall be found, because once He closed the door, He ain't opening it for nobody. That's all that we're gonna do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.